Welcome back here to Create, Build, and Manage. Again, I'm your host, Bryan Weatherford, and we're talking with various people with the Arlington Police Department. That's the Arlington TX Police Department. We have a new recruit, so to speak, right here with us in studio today, Sergeant Courtney White. Sergeant, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you.
Well, how long have you been with APD now?
About 15 and a half years.
Child prodigy in the police department world, I would say.
That is right.
Sitting across the table. 15 and a half years, is it safe to say, and I know the answer to this because I already looked at the notes, is it safe to say that you're not doing the same thing today that you were 15 and a half years ago?
That is a accurate and correct statement. Yes.
Well, talk to me a little bit about the diversity of the different positions you've held within the department.
So when I first started out, I was a rookie on the streets, obviously, and then I was an undercover narcotics detective. Then I moved on back to patrol, became a corporal for a few years. That means that I trained officers who were freshly out the academy, taught them how to do police work, penal code, different things like that. And then I promoted to sergeant. Former police chief Will Johnson selected me to be the CALEA sergeant, which is the Commission of Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies.
So you were handpicked by the chief?
Yes.
How'd that make you feel?
I felt good. I was like, oh, he trusts me with this big responsibility because it's a big deal.
It is a big deal, and I'm glad you're touching on that. You should be proud of that.
Yes.
I'm proud to be able to sit across the table from you, but for the simple fact that he chose you, that's a big deal.
Yes.
But I wanted to touch on another thing. All the time you've been rolling this, you've been a female police officer, and that's a big thing in the Arlington Police Department. We don't recognize anything of the fact that you're a good officer or not. So
yeah, that is a huge deal. Then I moved on, and now I'm the Strategic Communications Group, AKA the Media Sargeant, hand-selected by our current chief, Alexander Jones. So I am super proud to be here.
Well, you should, and we're super proud to have you. And it does speak volumes of you as an officer, the fact that you've done so many different things, but that you've been recognized by, you can't get any higher than the chief.
Right.
And when the chief is looking for one person and they picked you not once but twice, speaks volumes about you. So going back to it a little bit, we're always looking to bring in new recruits here within the department. What do you think is some of the key things if somebody's looking for a career in law enforcement that would skew them towards Arlington? What does Arlington have to offer that maybe other towns don't?
Well, one of the major things that we strive here at the Arlington Police Department is to make sure that our police department mirrors the diversity in the community that we serve.
Nice.
Meaning that we want the officers that are responding to your homes or to your businesses to look like you, who can relate to you. We want to have a diverse group of individuals working for our team.
When Arlington, Texas is one of the more diverse communities, not just in Texas, but in the entire country. So I applaud the APD for going that direction. Is so important because that relatability factor with citizens is a really big deal to where they really, oh, she's one of me.
Yes, absolutely.
She's me. I better pay attention.
Yes.
She knows what I go through on a day-to-day basis. You know, we've talked to other people today. I want to get your perspective on one of the big components of Arlington, of course, is the entertainment district and all that brings to the table. Have you found that presents some unique opportunities that police officers couldn't get in other parts of the country?
Absolutely. We have opportunities for individuals who are employed with the police department to work out at these different venues off duty. We have the Cowboy Stadium, Globe Life, where the Rangers play, Hurricane Harbor, which is our water park. We have Six Flags, and the list goes on and on and on, and so many other extra employment opportunities that you could have as a police officer here when you're off duty and obviously out of the academy.
Well, and then also when you're off duty and you are a citizen, there's a lot of neat things to do in this town.
Absolutely. Yes. So you can partake, you can have a good time. Arlington is really like a family town. We're really oriented towards families and just bringing tourists into our city and just, having a good time.
Well, within the department, is it a family in its own right? I mean, Arlington is a big town. It's 400,000 people. It's got a big police department. but it's not as big as other communities. And the fact that Arlington does such a great job in promoting from within, everyone in the different areas get to know each other. It's kind of a family in its own right, isn't it? In a lot of ways.
Yes, we are a family, such as the individuals that you have interviewed today. We all work on the same hallway. We see each other every day. Our paths cross. We have to work with each other in some type of capacity. So I'm in the media unit, so I'm constantly working with personnel and recruiting. So I see Bryan and I see Richard every day. Or crime prevention. We're constantly working with crime prevention, putting things out on social media, going to events, doing things in the community. That's a huge deal with our police chief right now. It's just really getting the community involved and bridging that gap between police and citizens.
And again, I want to reiterate, a big part of the bridge with the community is mirroring the community with your recruiting efforts within the department to make sure that the people within the department look like the people within the community. And it all kind of works out well like that.
And building public trust.
Building public trust is huge. You know, you just mentioned a word when you were talking about different things, social media. Let's talk about social media just a second. Obviously, it's a big deal in what you do. But overall, from a policing standpoint, social media hadn't always been around. I mean, it seems like it's been around a while, but it hasn't. And every day it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. What obstacles does that create from a policing standpoint? I'd have to think things have changed and social media is part of that.
Yes, now that social media is such a huge deal and everyone from a 5-year-old, 7-year-old up to someone 77, I mean, everyone has access to it. And so you see so many negative stories about police officers, but the message we want to stress is that don't let a few bad apples, blind you about becoming a police officer or trusting the police officer. We try to put out the Arlington Police Department tries to put out a lot of positive stories and engage in our community and going back to building public trust and just allowing the citizens to know that they are a part of us. They're a part of our family. We can't police without the public. The public is a part of our police department.
Well, we keep using that word community. I live here in this community, been here my entire life, and I have noticed from a social media aspect, I will see positive posts about the police department on non-police sites, on communities, talking about the great people with the Arlington Police, or good job, APD and stuff. Does that make you feel pretty good when you see those things?
It does. I can honestly say the citizens in Arlington, the community, they love the police department. Everywhere we go, they're praising our efforts. And like you said, we see them. They want to take pictures with us. They come out to our events. Normally we have like hundreds of people at most of our events. We just recently had Cooking with Cops. That's when we had it at Vandergrift Park maybe like a month ago. And when I tell you probably 900 people showed up, our lieutenants and our chiefs were on the grill cooking burgers and hot dogs. And we had music, we had popsicle trucks, everything. And our recruiting team was out there. People were visiting the booths. We had a picture booth as well. And people came out and they just had a really good time. And that's something that we're going to do 3 more times this year.
Good.
On different sides of town, just to engage the community and just be a big family.
Well, that's great. You combine the two families together, the families of the department and the family of the communities themselves. Did you grow up wanting to be in police? How did you decide to skew this direction?
I did not grow up wanting to be a police officer. Actually, I was just telling someone this story. I was just led by God directly to the Arlington Police Department.
Seriously?
I'm dead serious, directly. God directly spoke to me, told me to go. I was a social worker.
Okay.
For a local business here in Arlington. And I would go on the University of Texas at Arlington's website, the social work website, and look for jobs. It had like little job postings, and there was a posting for the Arlington Police Department was looking for female officers.
Look at that.
Dead serious.
Well, being a female officer, have you found yourself to be, for lack of a better word, a mentor for others? Little girls can look up to you and say, wow, there's a girl police officer. I could be a police officer. Have you ever had that experience?
Yes, all the time. I was a mentor at Thornton Elementary.
Go
Brought
Tigers.
that up. And Blanton Elementary here in Arlington. They're local elementary schools. And yes, little girls see me all the time. And that's the whole reason that it's part of my purpose and what I do. I want people who look like me, little girls who look like me, to know that they can make it. You know, I didn't come from the best background, and look at me now.
Look at you now. That's got to give you a little bit of pride too.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I'm extremely happy, and my family is proud of me. And I just want girls coming up to know that you can be anything you want to be as long as you put your mind to it.
As long as you put your mind to it, and you never know, you might end up like Courtney White, and you're handpicked not once but twice by none other than the police chief themselves to put in a special position. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. We'll be right back.